Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Trey, and I want to talk about books. Because the reason why I want to talk about books is because I'm getting kind of annoyed with these books and graphic novels, comic books, all kinds of books that are being adapted to TV and film. And I don't like where a lot of this stuff is going or whatever. But the really reason why I'm saying this stuff is because, for instance, when we're taking a book or novel, something that doesn't have pictures at all in it, when we take those books and, when studios are making TV shows or movies or video games based off of them, they are mostly as correct as they possibly can with those characters, places, details, and stuff like that. Some things might be omitted out. Sometimes they might change certain things about a character or whatever, but for the overall look, feel, and personality of the character, it usually stays mostly the same. I'm not saying all the time, but for the most part, it does. Why is it during the time where they were taking all these young adult novels in general, and making movies back to back to back for the past couple of years, was that okay? But when it comes to comic books, graphic novels, anything that actually have pictures, images of these characters showing you what they look like, how their personality is, how they act, how they look, how they dress, all of that stuff. Why is it always let's change it up, let's race change characters, let's gender swap them, let's change their sexuality, all that kind of stuff? Why is graphic novels or just comic books in general or books that got damn pictures, to be honest, why is that always a problem that fans say, hey, stick to the original material? You have the material right here, just take it from page to screen. Nobody's saying that you have to faithfully adapt, but if the character looks like this is what their costume is, at least try to get as much as that costume and much of that look and feel of that character as you possibly can. And you people get shut down for that. But when it comes to books, novels that don't have pictures but have descriptions of the character, they make sure that they accurately portray those characters, their personalities, their looks, their costuming as accurately as possible on the big screen or on the small screen or in the video games. But when it comes to, fans that have books that have pictures of these characters, is shut up, is not that big a deal, it's not important, and stuff like that. Like, why is it not important? Why is it okay that novels with no pictures are better than graphic novels, picture books, comic books? I don't understand. They're still books. They're still books when, they still have words that you have to read, right? You still see them. You still see those characters in action. You still have to read those word bubbles and stuff like that. I don't understand why that is such like a taboo thing, that it's really hard to take the characters from the picture book and accurately portray them on the big screen. But when we're taking characters from books that have no pictures, we can portray them accurately on the big screen. Make it make sense, people. Make it make sense, because I'm getting kind of annoyed with that. I'm just the only reason why I'm bringing it up, because I just want to know, like, why is there such almost like a double standard? Like, if now, are what are we trying to say about these books? Are we trying to say that because they have pictures in them, they're less important? Yet those same books that you're taking that have pictures, that have a fan base with it, that you put to screen on TV and movies and video games, make gangbusters, but yet you still have this double standard of how they're not important. Well, obviously they are, because you're making toys, you're making Funko Pop, you're making posters, you're making t-shirts, you got people cosplaying as these characters or whatever and stuff like that. So why is it when a book is made that has no pictures is way more important than a book that does have pictures in them that shows you what the characters look like. Because to me, if anybody should, kind of do their own thing when it comes to adapting a story, it should be when you take it from a book, more so than you do when you take it from a book that has pictures in it. Because if you really think about it, don't you think that that'll probably be more of the, oh well, we're gonna go our own way from the book? Because you kind of are. I mean, you kind of should, because there's really nothing. There's really nothing there telling you that, hey, let's put this book. Let's really make these characters how they're supposed to be in a book. But the book might describe few details. But when you got a picture book, it literally shows you what the character looks like, and you still opt out to use what the character looks like and go somewhere completely different. It's almost like as if you guys feel like there's no material there. It's like when Kathleen Kennedy um destroyed the Star Wars expanding universe and then claimed that the reason why they're starting over fresh or whatever, because there was never no source material, there was never no books, no video games, no pictures or anything for Star Wars for us to go on, so we have to kind of make up our own thing. No, you don't. But that's what it seems like these studios do when they're making TV shows and movies based off of books that have pictures of characters that you can see their race, their gender, their sexuality. You can see all of that. And yet they swear that there is no material there. Why is that okay to do that to books with pictures, but books without pictures that gives you words are more powerful, to the point where you make sure you get those characters' personalities, their traits, their looks, their feels more accurate on the screen than you do with the comic books? Make it make sense, people. Make it make sense to me. Because that's all I really want to know. I just really want to know, why is that such a okay thing? It's almost like you're diminishing books that have pictures in it over books without pictures. Because what? Because one is longer than the other one, or one has more words? Just because it has more words don't mean nothing. That doesn't mean that it's not as validated as the other story. I mean, granted, it depends on what kind of picture book and what kind of novels you're getting nowadays, but don't sit up there and act like it's as a less of a thing than those books, because you obviously see something in them, or you wouldn't be adapting them. You wouldn't be adapting them if there wasn't something of gain from there. It's just kind of funny. I was just like thinking about it, because I'm just like, why is it when fans make an uproar about the books not being accurate, the companies, nobody really go in the comment section and be like, oh, it's just a book, get over it and stuff like that. But when somebody take a comic book, graphic novel, or a picture book that's based off of something, and then they change it completely and stuff like that, and then fans say something about it, oh, whatever, get over yourself, it's just a comic book, or it's just a picture book, or whatever. Why is that just, why are you trying to diminish somebody's feelings about a book that they're reading, that they're a fan of? I don't get that. I don't get that. Why are we being that stupid? You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of, I don't know if any of you guys been in school. I mean, I know people been in school, but you know how in school, you ever notice how when it's the winter, right, and it's cold as hell outside, the school is cold on the inside, and when it's hot outside, it's hot on the inside in school with the heat on, and you always figure out, like, you always wondered why the hell they don't turn on the damn heat during the winter, and why the hell they don't turn on the air during the heat during the summer. It's basically like this. They do dumb stuff, and they come up with dumb reasonings why they do what they do. It's just funny. I just wondering like, why are we being so idiotic when the answer is right there? You know, it's kind of like, hey, here is instructions to building, let's say, a stove, right? A easy to build stove, and the person be like, screw that, I'm gonna ignore these tools or whatever, and then I'm gonna put it together my way, and it looks good on the outside, depending, but it doesn't work on the inside. And then they be like, I wonder why it doesn't work. And then then people are like, hey, the instruction manual was telling you we don't listen to that kind of stuff because that's just toxic. What? And it is basically that same kind of standard that we're doing. When somebody that tells you, hey, here's the book that has the pictures, that have the descriptions of the character, that shows you what they like, they ignore that and say, oh, that's just toxic people yelling and screaming or whatever and stuff like that. But when it comes to, here's the book that writes out the description of the characters, let's make sure we get as accurate as possible to that. What? Make it make sense, folks. Make it make sense. That's all I'm saying, because that just kind of bothers my spirit of how idiotic we can be when it comes to certain things that are so easy, but yet we don't want to do that. But yeah, those are my thoughts. Tell me what you guys think in the comment section below, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.